I don't know what I'm going to say. What do I say? Do I say thanks for having me? Thanks for.
It's great to be here.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Okay.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome to another Tales from the Workshop from Mr. Jones Watches, the weekly look at what we get up to here in the development of our watches. This week, I've got a special guest, Mr. Onorio D'Epiro. Onorio, welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Onorio's here to talk through the reissue of Monster Melter, which should be happening on the day that this video is released. So the reissue of Monster Melter, let's rewind and talk about the original Monster Melter.
Cool.
So Monster Melter came out in September of 2024, get my years right, and it sold 400 pieces in the limited edition window, which is second highest of all time. Well done.
Thank you.
So it was always going to be a really strong candidate from reissue. So this is the limited edition version. The time telling function, just to recap, the spaceman with his gun aligns with the minute, and then the hours are on the sort of severed tentacles. So that's coming up to, that would be like 12 o'clock. So yeah, I guess one of the few things we felt wasn't as well resolved as it could have been on the limited edition was in the very centre, the mouth, like covering the rivet, there's like a sort of saliva sort of thing stretching to cover it, but it wasn't super satisfactory. Like the mouth has a really nice thing where you can see like back into it, and it's got like a real 3D-ness to it, and I guess that print on the glass was kind of compromising that a bit.
It ended up being that we had to make it quite blocky in the middle, and I think that's what maybe spoils the illusion a little bit. I'm really happy with it still, but there was that thing as when we sat down, it's like, how can we perfect that? How can we give a lot more depth and just not have it on the sides? So that was one of the big focal points that we're looking at.
So our first step was to do a bunch of different colour tests with the monster's tentacles. So I didn't realise until today that we never actually showed these to you, but these were tests that we did with different colourways for the monster. So there's like a kind of bluey green. I think we'd maybe discussed like a bluier version.
Yeah.
This is a kind of interesting test because this is a mixture of the fluoro ink with an iridescent. It's actually not quite capturing
in person. That's really nice. That is.
It has like a weird sort of metallic sheen to it. Maybe you're getting a bit of it when the light catches it there, and like a blue kind of monster.
Yeah.
But I think we had a sense from these tests and from like looking on screen that like you say, we'd hit upon like a much stronger colorway with the original, and making that monster blue
didn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, it didn't appeal to anyone as a...
I mean, the fact that it's an alien, it should be green in my head and be really bright. I mean, the only other thing you could do is go with like reds or oranges, but again, it's that kind of really obvious thing to go with the green, isn't it? It's the thing that people would associate an alien or a monster with, which I think once we saw that colour, it's hard to go with anything other than that colour. And I had done a sheet of just lots of different colourways. I mean, I think that's what spurred on these examples that we've got in front of us. But now that we've got that colour and you just keep looking at it, it's the one that makes sense.
So I guess we kind of agreed that actually the colourway was a fixed element.
Yes.
Therefore, it was a moment to revisit the illustration side.
Exactly.
So to redraw the monster. And we've got a little video just kind of documenting the process that you went through to get that, which we'll have a look at together now. So the video shows like a bit of a kind of snapshot of your process of redrawing the monster.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the things that I probably struggled the most with any design I've ever done, because especially like if there's a release that's come out or something that's finalised, I really struggled to redesign it. I think it's worked out for the absolute best. I'm so happy we've done it, but through the process I struggled, and it was just through lots of communication with both of us and the team, and me going back to the basics really. And one of the things I find that when I'm drawing, especially, or coming up with something, I tend to jump straight digitally, which is I never get the best results. That I found that if I just work straight onto paper, I'm not bothered about what I'm doing. It's quite throwaway in a way. I can just get through designs very quickly. I end up getting the best results.
It's interesting because I'm sure a lot of people are looking at this and thinking, I wish I could draw as well as you. Like, you have a really it seems kind of effortless, your ability to draw things, and yeah, I guess you really underestimate.
I find these my drawings really embarrassing when I show. Yeah, I do. I just think because they're not finessed or finished or anything like that. I just find that they're really crude. And
but you draw so cleanly, and you have such a fluid kind of line. Like, I wish I could draw like you, just off the bat.
So at this point now, I'm starting to scan things in, and I don't know why I put this paper texture effect on it. I just think just to give it a little bit of colour, and then as you see, I'm quickly onto the iPad, and I'm starting to finesse the lines and just get the line weight right, and then using the original Photoshop document to just put the new artwork on top of it. And you can't see it on here, but I've got lots of sort of screens going on where, here we go, I can see lots of versions, and it's really good to see these and maybe step away for a day and come back to it. There were some elements where we were playing with the tongue coming out that I don't think they worked as well with having the tongue out.
Cool, yeah, I guess the tongue was aligned with this thing of like covering the rivet, that we wanted something in the centre of the mouth that would work to mask that part, to just obscure it. But I'm not sure, like, we definitely felt from our side the tongue looked really like crude. It looked like the sort of Rolling Stones logo. It looked like it just didn't really fit with the monsters.
It doesn't look alien, does it?
No.
I mean, there was a couple that were like forked tongues or like more snake tongues, but it maybe just felt a bit too forced. And to look at just giving the design the depth that we were originally trying to look for, without having that saliva element on the glass, was probably the focal point of that, of what we should have been trying to nail down as for the final design.
You redid the monster with more eyes, and also you gave like the teeth a lot more sort of physicality than they had. So limited edition on the left here, and then the first pass redrawn artwork on the right. So yeah, the teeth on the monster particularly are much more like he's got gums, which looks kind of more effective. But also there's a lot more eyes than there were in the first one, and that, I think, like we were talking about it earlier, like it's a kind of more satisfactory monster in version 2.
Yeah, he looks a lot more menacing, doesn't he? But still kind of like, I don't know, I've always wanted this cuteness to come across in the artwork, but yeah, just if you look at the teeth as well, they look a lot more refined, don't they? A lot cleaner in terms of shape. They're still triangular, but the other ones were a bit more slanted, almost having a bit more of a sketch feel to them. So I'm really happy with this, how this one's turned out, and I think all the other elements felt like they were, they were basically to a stage where I was really happy with them. It was just that monster space of bringing it into the new permanent edition.
One of the things that was unsatisfactory on this was the line weight on the monster's head versus the tentacles, but just because the two had been drawn at a very extended, like a year apart.
Exactly. This is where I started to go, this is going to work, because you can still see these strands of saliva right at the back on the, would have been the back disc?
On the dial.
On the dial, excuse me, yeah. So it'll be on there and it's still working as the illusion. So at this point I'm like, we can get rid of the saliva on the actual glass.
This is second round sample. So one of the things on this generation is the line weight's been corrected so that it now matches the line weight on the tentacles. So on the left is like first generation, on the right second generation. It's quite a subtle change, but actually when you see them side by side, it just looks a bit crude. It looks a bit badly printed. So second generation line weight was corrected. This round, I think we're trying to lean into the silvery colour of the rivet. So we've actually put a printing on the glass.
Yeah, I think it just stands out too much, and you really want to have this void, don't you, inside the mouth where it looks like this got this big pit.
So I guess this was last round. Maybe I think we've got the flat top rivet in this one, or we've got the seconds cap.
Yeah, I think it just distracts from the teeth as well, doesn't it? It almost blends in with the teeth a bit too much.
Yeah. So actually this is final production version. So we've just gone a kind of simple route in that there is a seconds cap in the very middle that's painted in a very dark red.
Lovely.
And it does just kind of disappear even when the light is as unsympathetic as it can be. Like, it's difficult to really discern it. And most of the time when the light's hitting it in a sort of sympathetic way, yeah, it just disappears.
Yeah, in natural light and in hand, you really struggle to see that rivet.
It's nice to see the two of them side by side and sort of reflect on how the new version is a kind of evolution of the original one.
Yeah, exactly. I think we did all the hard work, if you want to call it that, in the original. I mean, we had lots of conversations, and this was, again, just sort of perfecting an element of it, ready for the permanent release.
I mean, there is another video where we look through the samples of the limited edition, and it's fair to say limited edition Monster Melter had a ton more sampling than reissue did. But I think you're right, because like all the heavy lifting of the like getting that design to a really good point happened at that stage. So it was actually pretty straightforward for the reissue.
No, exactly. And I think the positive response from the people who were collecting the pieces as well sort of said that, that it didn't need that much changing, which was great. And I'm really happy that we managed to keep the colours again, because I thought there was such a integral part of the overall design.
I guess there's a small change that we made as well, was the background dial colour is like a grey this time rather than a blue. And we were talking about this a bit earlier, like that has really helped to kind of make the colours pop a bit more.
Exactly, yeah, it's just elevated the design. I guess the blue one brings everything a little bit tighter together, but I really like the fact that the green pops even more against this darker colour.
Good boy.
Okay, that's all for this week. As always, I hope it was an interesting insight into the development of one of the watches that we do. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll see you next week.